Hello and welcome to my video today. This is a part 2 video. A couple months ago, I did a video on the rear reading lights or map lights that are on the left and right side of this area right here. I showed how to disconnect those lights by removing a couple of wires from the wiring harness, and unfortunately you can't use the lights anymore. This was due to random or phantom lights that show up while you're driving or when the car is parked. And we weren't sure if it was a hardware or software issue. And we definitely think now that it is a hardware issue. So this video is going to cover how to fix the lights and still be able to use them. And you can use them from the driver overhead controls or from the rear passenger seat by pressing the light itself. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So let's get started. All right, I'm on the right side of the car, and here's the light fixture that we're going to be removing. There are two L-shaped clips in the front. There's a clip here and a clip back here. We're going to be using a plastic pry bar to loosen up these clips so that we can remove this full fixture. Let's get that going. Got to be careful. The metal clips on here will snap off, and unfortunately they will fall behind the headliner as it did for this piece right here. And what you can do is use a magnetic screwdriver such as this so you can grab it, or you can pull out the weather stripping right here. Let me do that right now. If I pull this out and then pull out the headliner, I can probably fish out the clip right now. Here we go. And there we are. There is the metal clip. And I'll put that back on the unit here so that it doesn't get lost. And let's see. There could be a second one back there. Let me keep looking. Here's the other one. So let me put that one back on. And this is pretty common to have these metal clips come off. Just make sure you get them from behind the headliner, snap them back on so you don't lose them. At this point, there are two wiring fixtures here, or two wiring connectors that we need to remove. This one is for the main light, and this one is for the reading light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this one off, and then I'm going to press on the clip on this one, and this one will come off too. Press on that, and now we can take the whole light fixture to my workbench, and I'll show you those next steps. If you did modify the wiring here, there are two leads that are underneath this electrical tape. I put a piece of electrical tape along with a zip tie to keep it in place. I'm going to now remove the zip tie. So let me go do that now. Zip tie is gone. Going to unravel that. You'll need to pop off the cover for this. So I'm going to do that now. And here we have a close-up of the connector. What we need to do is we need to take the top half of this off so that we can have access to the wires underneath. And what we're going to use is a thin flathead screwdriver, and we're going to turn it so that you see these two little clips here, and you're going to insert the screwdriver right over this, between those two. And then you're going to push on the cover this way. So let me put it in again. And it will slide right off. And later on, we'll do the same motion in the opposite direction. There are two wires here. There's a green and white wire and a brown wire. And what we're going to do is reattach these leads back into the connector. And the order goes from left to right. We have blue, then we'll insert the green and white, then the brown, and then we have the existing black on the far side. So let me do those right now. I may need to spread these out a little bit to make it easier. And then I will take the electrical tape off of the leads. All right, I have removed the electrical tape from both of the leads. We have the green and white right here and the brown right here. What we're going to do is on the left side here, we have the blue wire. And right next to that, we're going to insert the green and white. And then right after that, we're going to put the brown. There's going to be a gap. And then there's going to be the black one that's already in there. One thing I want to let you know is that this little connector here has a bump on it. The bump is going to show through the opening here. So you want to insert it so that the bump is facing front. All right. So I am going to insert that now. There we go. I have it in. I'm going to use some pliers to push it in. And it should snap into place. And then you hear a little snap there. All right, so now I put the next one in. Do the same thing. Sorry if this is hard to see here. And the brown one's going to go in right next to it. Gonna push that in. And that also snaps into place. So we have all four of the original colors here. We got blue, the green and white, the brown, and the black. So when we put the fixture back together again, it will be working because this is correct. So here we have the light fixture. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to detach this top portion of the fixture. You could use a combination of different things. I used a craft knife along with a pair of scissors. If you have a heavy knife, you could also use that too. So what we're going to be doing is along this edge here is where we need to cut. So if I show you what it looks like right here, right along here is where you need to just basically keep on cutting. It took me a long time to get this cover off to the point where I almost gave up. But you just need to keep on cutting until you get through the glue that holds it on. For example, if I hold the scissors like this and just went along this edge, keep on going, eventually you will cut through it. Then you just need to make sure you do along the edges on this side, and the other side so that the whole piece will come off. So just letting you know that it is very tedious, but I did get this off. So I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. So if I pull it up, it will come off once you've broken the seal around the edge. And what we have here is the full fixture. So we have the light, that is the problem. We also have the other light. This is when you open the door, this will turn on. So this light is fine. This one is powered by the other connector that I had shown you in the vehicle. So we're going to move this out of the way. And here is where I want to show you. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So if you look at this metal piece right here, this metal piece is at an angle. You can probably see it pretty well right there. So this is probably what is causing the problem with this switch. So this is the actual mechanism for the switch, and we're going to bend this that way. So we're going to make it more of a 90-degree angle than it is right now. If you just want to remove this metal piece, you can do that too. So if you just take this metal piece out, then you can't control this from the actual fixture, but you can control it from the driver's seat or front passenger seat with the overhead button control. So that is one option. So if you want, you can just remove this metal piece and just do that method. What I'm going to show is bending this back so that this works much better. So let me try that out right now. Let me see if I can get a plastic pry bar under here. All right, so let's try this. Here we go. So using the plastic pry bar under this corner right here, so right here, just bend it and then this whole thing will come up. There we go. So it's now detached. And you can see right here, it isn't a full 90-degree angle. So we're going to want to bend this around something to make it 90 degrees. So let me find something to use. I have a T-square here that I'm going to be using for this purpose. And this should give you an idea of the angle that we are working with here. So this should be flat touching here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this slightly. With this bent at a 90-degree angle, I'm going to reinsert it into the light fixture. And I'm going to insert it right here. I'm going to pop it in. And you'll hear it snap into place. And you can look at it at this angle here. You can see it is flat. So now we're going to test it out. All right, so I made sure that the inside of this is clean. Make sure that there's no debris or anything inside of this lens. The same is for the light fixture. Make sure it's clean, nothing in there. And we are going to reattach this. The way that you do this is that you match up the light here with the clear section, and then we can do that. What I'm going to do is just for testing now, I'm not going to seal it, but when you do want to put this back together, I would use some silicone sealant all around the edge and then press it down, and then I would let it sit for a few hours just to make sure it sets and that this is fully adhered to the full fixture. But in the meantime, I'm going to take this out to the car and I'm going to see if I can get it to work. All right, so I have the light fixture. I'm going to take the wire connector here and I am going to insert it. And then I am going to press the button here. And note that I can turn it on and off like that. And I can also control it from the front overhead area too. So yeah, so now we have the ability to use this light. I'm going to be testing this to make sure it does not have any of the phantom turning on when I'm driving or any other time. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I think this is a pretty good solution. Thanks to members of the Facebook Hacks and Mods community, and especially Chad Sturgill for giving some information of how to get this modification working. Well, that's it for now. You can just reinstall this into the car and then do the same for the other side and you're all set. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.